Thanks, Jim. I just want to start off, I do want to counter Swain's claim that Waterloo's the home of the blackberry, as I think many August campers at Candelore would argue that we can lay rightfully to the claim to that, as we pick the berries that grow along all the hydro cuts at camp every summer. For those of you that are alumni here, I am going to be right up front with you and tell you that on Regatta Day I am a fur trader. Yeah, we could do Oski Weeby, but I think we'll hold off a little bit, maybe to the back room for that. For the last 14 years, it has been my honor to be the director at Camp Candelore. Small place for many people. That for many people here holds a special place in a large portion of their hearts, and it's the original home of this incredible museum as well. When I meet an alumni, I'm often asked, what's Candelore like now? Actually, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, oh, Candelore, I went to Candelore. I helped lug those logs up to build that big museum building. The second thing is, what's Candelore like now? I'd say that it's the same, but different. 20 years ago, we introduced girls to Candelore, and they have become an integral part of our culture. As Joanna can attest to both her daughters having come through and been campers, staff, and in the case of Emily, one of our senior staff members running our senior girls section. It's different in that the museum, which is still referred to as the museum, now hosts our arts and crafts areas, our pottery. It hosts our leatherworking and workshop area. We've redesigned the back wing of it. For those of you that have been there, it now holds a 3-story high indoor climbing wall. And this spring, we're currently installing out those doors that many canoes were lugged in. Campers will now exit out those doors into a high ropes challenge course. But so much is the same. Regatta Day is a key and integral part of our session for campers who attend. We have 90% of our staff were campers. And last year we canoed the equivalent distance on canoe trip of traveling from this museum to Moscow. And this summer, we will send out 8 explorer trips. Explorers are the culmination of being a camper at Candelore for many people. And at one time, they were a 2-month program. We've now had to, because of alternative things that campers and kids like to do these days, we have compressed it down to a month, but we will be sending 8 groups of campers, 72 children, age 16, out to places that very few people get to see. Places like the Moisey, the Broadback, the Blood Vein, the Barron's Pigeon, the Des Moines on shorter trips, the Madawaska, the Petawawa. Campers even will head out this summer on our looper. And on all those trips, Kirk will be there. I would invite you as alumni to come and visit camp, as Kirk often did, to see our explorer paddles and see that it is very much his place still. Thank you.
What I'd like to do is just say thank you. Thank you to everyone, and thank you for the memories. Even as Kirk's health was failing, he never failed to say a kind word, to bring a smile to people's faces, to listen to stories, and to just be Kirk. And I know he would have been so proud to have been here today, to listen to all the wonderful tributes given by so many friends and family in his honor. He would be smiling. Thank you again. When Kirk used these words, and I'm wearing them around my neck. To know, to care, to act. He was referring to the wilderness. I would like to use them today to refer to this museum, to know the history of the craft and the First Nations who created them, as this is our heritage. To care about this heritage and that it is available for all to enjoy and to experience, and to act in a responsible and caring way to make sure that this treasure lasts forever and is a place to teach and inspire our children. We all know that that was one of his focuses. In Kirk's own words, this museum is a place to honor those who have gone before our forefathers. And it is a place for those traveling through, you and I, and for those yet to come, our children and our grandchildren. And as Kirk would say, believe. As he would always say, this is the greatest national treasure that Canada has, as it speaks to our identity and it represents our early history. I believe, as Kirk did, that the people involved with this museum will continue with his vision and will never underestimate the power of his dream. He was proud and filled with gratitude for what you have done and what you are doing and what you will do. That it is your willingness and determination to fight for what you believe in makes a good vision never end. I would like to thank Jim Stewart, the chair of the board, and all of the board members and all the board members since the inception of this museum. To James Raffin, our executive director, John Summers, our manager, Jeremy Ward, our curator, to all of the staff of the museum, all of the volunteers whose hours of dedication have built this museum, and to those who have been so generous with their large donations, as these major gifts have kept this museum alive and the wolf from our door. This place would only be a shell if it were not for the energy of all of our friends, of our family, of the visitors who bring this place alive with your daily visits. And I think we've seen that today, how it's come alive. I would also like to acknowledge the Wipper family, to Douglas, to David, to Joanna, to Margaret, and his students from U of T and the staff at Candelore for the support that they gave him in the early development of this museum. Kirk often said he could never have done this alone without the willingness and the help of so many. He thanks you, and I thank you, and the people of Canada thank you for contributing to this treasure. I've lost my best friend. And I know many of you feel the same. Kirk always said, you have to do the best. You have to do what you can. You have to do the best with what you are, and you have to believe. Kirk quoted this, and he meant to believe in the wilderness, but I would like to change that and say to believe in this Canadian Canoe Museum. And if you do that, you can't go wrong. Believe. Kirk used to quote this when he ended his addresses, and I will too. It is in the strength of our forefathers we go. It is not their dead campfires we follow, but their stars. Believe and follow your star. Thank you for being our friends. It is who you travel with and what you do along the way that counts. He had a wonderful journey. He said to me many times lately, Anne, if anything happens to me, I want you to know I've had a good life. Thank you for picking up the torch and running with it. And thank you, Kirk, for the memories and inspiring us all to do our best.